Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Jack Chang here and today we're going to do yet another property review. It is Residensi Brickfields at Brickfields. Of course it's at Brickfields, right? The name itself. So where exactly are we? We are actually off Jalan Tun Sambatan, at the start of Jalan Tun Sambatan. So towards this direction here is basically Jalan Syed Putra, and there's actually a slip road that turns up into this Jalan Tun Sambatan, and of course you head all the way straight. That's where you will hit KL Sentral, New Central. Yeah, so actually at the start of Jalan Tun Sambatan, there's a road, the first slip road on your left. If you turn, you go behind here and you end up at this place here. Okay, so this is a Prima project. Yeah, it's been quite some time since I last reviewed a Prima project, and Prima project is basically Scheme Perumahan Rakyat 1 Malaysia. Launched by Dato Sri Najib Razak, our PM, quite some time back, I think 2011 if I'm not mistaken. And their mission is basically to develop and provide affordable, high quality homes for the middle income group. Yeah, so there's still an income requirement for this project. If I'm not mistaken, it's a combined income of less than 15,000. Open to Malaysians, regardless if you're single or married. And yes, that's about it. You don't need to be a particular resident of a state or the federal territories. No, just Malaysian, and you're above 21 years old, and there is an income requirement. Okay, so very straightforward. So going back to this project, Residensi Brickfields, you actually got 3 blocks. I don't think you can see 3. You're only seeing 2 here, 1, 2, but there's another one behind here. You have a total of 920 units, 27 stories, and it's leasehold. So you have a total of 4 layouts for this development. The smallest is a Type A, 691 square feet, 1+1 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Why is it 1+1? I'll explain later. And you got a Type D, that's the largest at 1,005 square feet, 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So the bottom here, you can see, of course this is ground floor. You have some parking here. And the main parking is actually 1, 2, 3. So 3 levels of parking. You don't have to turn too high up, which is actually very good and somehow very underrated. You go to some developments, right? You think about it, if you don't have a speed ramp and you got your car park at level 9, some even as high as level 9. Yes, I've seen some as high as level 9. But usually it's level 6 or 7, and then your facility is level 8. This one, your facility is level 4. So for those without speed ramp and you park at level 7, oh man, it's a pain, right? To turn up so many times. This one is okay, yeah? Because it's actually very, very big. The space, I would say, the floor layout plan, the whole building, the total land is actually quite big. Hence, you only need 3 floors, and it's only 920 units. Not too many units, to be honest, especially spread out across 3 blocks. Okay, yes, where are we? So we actually, as I said, just off Jalan Tun Sambatan, and towards that side there is KL Sentral, New Central. And if you talk about public transport, right, behind here, this is Alila, and if you're familiar, Alila is basically a condo which is directly connected to Bangsar LRT. So we're actually not too far from the Bangsar LRT station. You actually can walk this side slip here road, slide road here. It's only about 400 meters, yeah, 7 minutes. We'll be able to see the LRT station from the unit that we are going to review. Okay. So yes, this is a longer than usual opening from me. Very, very nice. I like this, how it's painted, right? This should be a DB, electrical DB supply substation, sort of. Okay, yes, without further ado, Prima, clearly stated. Without further ado, let's head in. Let's go. Okay, we have gotten through the guard post. 2 in, 2 out. So it's okay, quite nice. And it's covered with this big arch. So got a total of 3 blocks, as I mentioned, and each block has its own drop-off area. So this here is the drop-off for block A. You turn here and you drop off here. Here there's a slight ramp and you can head towards your lift lobby, which is there. Yeah. And yes, I think let's head directly into the lift lobby. Alright, morning. Okay, let's head up. Let's see if we can take a look at the lift also. Lift is very normal, very plain. Nothing really fancy. Okay, it's taking too long. We'll just keep up. Stepping out of the lift, we are on the 21st floor. So the layout is actually quite nice. I like this type of layouts for the entire floor, whereby it's a shape of a letter 8 and you have really, really big air wells. Okay, let me show you what I mean by this. Look, that's what you have. Yeah. So lots of sunlight from the top. Top is not covered, it's open. And also the sides here for each and every floor. So you get a lot of natural light coming in. Hence, I feel that even for your lower floors, it is rather bright, yeah. Let's take a look at this side. This side is actually bigger. By the way, there are a total of 12 units per floor, served by 4 lifts. Yeah, look at that. So really very bright, very cheerful, and you get a communal feeling, right? Where everyone looks into this central area, both these internal air wells. Okay, yes, 4 lifts, like I mentioned. Yeah, including one lift bomba. And before we go to the unit, let's just check out where is that room for your refuse room? I think it should be here, but yeah, this emergency exit. Okay, so it's two-sided. For the bomba lift, you can access it from here. This is your refuse room, very, very normal refuse room. So the good thing about this refuse room, if you have watched my previous videos, I always like it if it's at least double door. Yeah, so it prevents the bad odor from going into the common walkway and into your units. This here is your ELV, your telephone, and also your electric. ELV is basically the connectivity for your TV point on the wall. Trunking is exposed. It's okay, I feel. By the way, orange is for electricity, and this white one is basically for your fiber and also your phone point. Nothing really bad, you know. Does it look terrible? If you ask me, of course it'd be nice if it's covered, right? But that being said, the layout itself makes up a lot for that exposed trunking. I really like the layout. Again, it's very bright, very cheerful. And I feel with this type of layout, right, you get much more of a communal feeling because it's easier to see all your neighbors one shot. Yeah, someone is much more open, much more inviting to get to know each other. Okay? Yes, let's head to the unit to review. This is the unit to review. It's a corner unit. Yeah, and again, this corner unit is because of the layout, unique layout, right? So that there are actually 4 corners for each floor. Yeah, and yeah, there are actually 2 units at this corner. So a total of 8 units at the corner and 4 intermediate units. Yeah, that's how I'll coin it. That's the advantage of having this type of 8-shaped layout, right? Your corner units are sizable units. This is basically the largest layout. It's a type D, 1,005 square feet, 3 rooms, 2 bathrooms, and 1 utility room. So immediately here at your landing, not much space for a shoe cabinet. If I were to choose, I would probably still want to do it outside. Let me see. This is closed, right? You rarely open this. By the way, grills are all provided. But this would eat into block your keyhole, and this would then mean a smaller entrance. Okay, but if I really had to choose, I'll probably put this side, a really thin profile shoe cabinet. And then of course you have to relocate this. Just my personal opinion. Without thinking too much, at a glance, this is what I will do. Okay, very normal door. Entering into the unit, so you notice very nice. Yeah, this is a squarish layout, and to me, the more squarish it is as opposed to be elongated this way, it's always better because it means you have a bigger frontage here. And in this instance, you can see the living is here, the dining is here, both are looking outwards. Yeah, the DB box, single face. This is the kitchen, 5 feet tiles. So the kitchen's an open kitchen. You'll probably do both your wet and dry here. Your cooking will be done here. That's the way I see it. It's quite sizable, then again, in my opinion. And if you really want it to be nice, right, then that's where you demarcate and maybe make a nice L-shaped counter, you know, to really further demarcate it. Yeah. Either this side, or I prefer this side actually. Bar height somehow. I think that would be nice. This is your yard. And you have a utility room here. So all units have a utility room. Even the smallest unit, right, also has a utility room. And that utility room, if you look into the drawing, right, I will attach it. They show that you can actually put a bed inside there. But for the smallest one, basically it's the type A, 691 square feet, they show it as a 1+1. Yeah, it's not a 2-bedroom. And why is that? It's because there are certain standards, minimum size before it can qualify to be a bedroom. Like this, of course, is too small. You can't qualify it as a bedroom. But for the type A one, I believe it's too small. It doesn't follow the standards measured in UBBL, Uniform Building Bylaws. That is actually the standard which governs how big or what's the minimum size of a room, what's the minimum height of a room, and so on and so forth. Hence, for the smallest unit, 691, it is officially a 1-bedroom only. Although, technically speaking, that smallest room, that utility rather, can be your small room. But because it does not meet the size requirements, hence it's marketed as a 1-bedroom only. Anyway, okay, this is where I guess you'll have your washing machine because your outlet in there is here. And you will need to cover this with sliding windows because it's open to the elements, yeah, directly open. Okay, let's talk about this part. I like this part a lot. Yeah. Number one, of course, you get both side by side looking out, decently nice view. That is KL Sentral that you see there. Yeah. Menara Shell, Hilton is behind there somewhere. Very, very nice. Okay, this Alila, much more expensive, directly connected to the LRT station. By the way, that's the LRT station. Yeah, this is Bangsar LRT station. And if you ask me, it's actually quite near. Yeah. You have to know this place. You can actually walk this road here. By the way, down here is just the junction. We were somewhere here at the start of the video, right? When I did my opening introduction. So you just walk up here and you take this. Okay, let me zoom in a bit. You take the overhead pedestrian. You basically cross the MRT tracks. This sorry, not MRT tracks, KTM tracks to the other side, and that is Bangsar LRT. 350 meters, which is only what, 7 minutes walk? Or if you're crazy enough, you can walk to KL Sentral, 1.2 kilometers, about 20 minutes walk. Yeah, and then there is Brickfields. Yeah, all this. And they got a public field down there. Basketball court, futsal court. So nice view. I would say generally very nice, both for your dining and your living. This type of layout, right? Not necessarily you will get, you know, if you buy a private condo. Especially at this price range, I think it's very, very hard to get. Yeah, look at that. 2x2 tiles. So that's also quite nice. Yeah. And the faceplate, all this is by Schneider Electric. Yeah. Okay, let's head to the rooms. We'll start off with this smallest room. So for the room, they give you laminate timber flooring. Nice. And you've got a double window panel here. No view, but it's quite windy. Double window panel. Yeah, instead of a single window panel. And it is quite big. Yeah, above 1,000 square feet, possible to squeeze in. For this unit, you can squeeze in a queen size bed, no issues. Yeah. You have fan hook there. You do not have aircon piping though. Only the master bedroom gets aircon piping. This is the bathroom, shared bathroom. All the way to the top tiles. No power point also for your shower. By the way, this building or this project got a classic score of 82, and classic is basically measures the construction quality, right? So it's quite good, you ask me. Of course, people will complain, some owners will complain, it's very bad, mine had a lot of defects, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whether you trust the system or not, and of course they don't measure each and every unit, right? They do random checks. This one, I'm sure, they do random checks, okay? And 82 is the decent score, like it or not. Yeah. That is the fan hook. So all rooms have fan hook, and this one has a nice view also. Yeah. Double window panel. Would be better, of course, if they make it bigger. But yes, I'm not going to complain. It's still a double window panel, and you got added top and bottom panels here. Yeah. So it's not just halfway. And last but not least, this is nice, the master bathroom. And the master bedroom, sorry. Okay, here we go. Look at that. So fully maximizes the advantage of the site here, right? Again, squarish unit, the whole unit is a bit squarish for this particular layout. And what they've done is they've really maximized the site. And they've been very generous here by looking at these window panels. Look at the size of these window panels. Yeah, this is nice. So a lot of natural lighting, not just the common corridor, the walkway, you have the areas, but also the unit. Look at that. Yeah, and this is quite sizable. Yeah, this master bedroom. Look at that. So this is the other block. We are sandwiched in between two blocks. Or rather not sandwiched, left and right you have blocks. And down there, so that is Klang River. This is Jalan Syed Putra. Jalan Syed Putra, yeah. That's turning up from Jalan Syed Putra. So to come up from Jalan Syed Putra, you basically need to take this slip road where it turns up, and then you basically head towards Brickfields. So it's quite nice. This layout, and the way this whole project is executed, right? Again, the 8 8 as in number 8 shape for the layout, and the unit super bright. Slightly more expensive than Prima units, but in general also I would say the way they've done it is much better than Prima units. You know, the layout. This one has a water heater point provided. Of course, there are some exceptional Prima units, Residensi Brickfields projects, but that is really rare, right? The likes of Sky Awani, Lamansari, those are extremely rare. In general, Prima units, you can't compare with this. Quite sizable bathroom also. Look at the space. Yeah. Shower area. So probably do a shower screen here. This side. Okay, yes, that's about it. We've done the review. A big shout out to the owner of this unit for providing us with the opportunity. I'm not sure if I should name him, but yeah, you know who you are. Again, big thank you to you, sir. And now that we've finished reviewing this unit, let's head down and check out the facilities. Let's go. Okay, we are back now on the ground floor. You might be wondering, right, what type of facilities can we show on the ground floor? Quite interesting, in my opinion. So, of course, you have all your car parks, mostly are for visitors. But what I would like to show, okay, you got your management office over there at Block A. It's double-sided, and you got big glass panels. As a matter of fact, it's quite big if you see. It's quite big, yeah, basically. But what I wanted to really show is the Tasca and Tadika for this development. Yeah. So this Tasca and Tadika, the way they've designed it, I would say is one of the best, most practical, and is designed properly from the get-go. Yeah. Very, very practical. You enter immediately, you can use it. Very, very well thought of, if I would say. By the way, this is the drop-off for Block B, so you basically turn around here, and then you can drop off here. Here's the lift lobby. Okay? And you might be wondering, right, what's the difference between Tasca and Tadika? So, Tasca is basically childcare or nursery. And Tasca itself, the Malay word, is actually the abbreviation for Taman Asuhan Kanak-Kanak. So that is Tasca. Yeah, it's the abbreviation. And yes, this is the Tadika. The Tasca is the other end, very similar. But look at that. So you basically got an outdoor play area for your Tadika. Very, very rare. Usually the Tasca, right, it's always internal only. You do not have an external area. This is external. Basically, outdoors, sort of. Okay, can we enter from here? Okay, yes, let's enter. So, very, very practical. Yeah, immediately you enter, you drop off. I can imagine you drop off your kids here. This could be your registration counter, where they check. And inside, they actually split nicely. You got separate individual rooms, yeah. So you got bilik pembelajaran, learning room, essentially. Sizable learning room. Very, very conducive. Look at the ceiling height. It's high up, right? And this library, bilik perpustakaan. You got your kitchen area where they can prepare food. That door leads to the walkway. So if let's say you want to bring in wet food, right? You can just bring in the wet food from this door. But basically, this is very important because you need to cook, prepare food. Daycare, kindergarten is usually a half-day thing. You have your breaks. And if it's a full day care, you need to prepare lunch. Another bilik pembelajaran. So it's big. Very, very practical. Bilik sakit. This is also very common. Why you need this? Because sometimes, right, the kids are sick, right? So, or they have fever, or they have infectious type of bacteria or what, viral infection. You need to spread them. You need to split them from the others so it does not spread. So this is why you have a billiard circuit, and you have very, very nice bathrooms. Look at that. So it's purposely designed that is low down. This is only up until my my knee level. So very, very kid friendly. Yeah. You got two. Okay, no, sorry, one only. This is probably to bathe. Yeah. So all in all, very, very practical. This is probably one of the best executed tadika, yeah, that I've seen. And as I said, they actually split this. So this is one, you got another one on the other end, yeah. That is the taska. So this one is the tadika, which is again meant for, tadika is meant for 4 to 6 actually, and tadika itself is an abbreviation for Taman Didikan Kanak-Kanak. Yeah, that's the that's how they came up with the word tadika, which is kindergarten. Taska is the other end, but very, very similar, so probably I will not show that. If anything, I think that's slightly bigger, but I mean, you get the whole concept, right? Where they properly split it. So now, what we'll do is we'll go up to the main facilities floor on level 4. Let's go. On the lift, we are on the 4th floor, 3A. So this is the main facilities floor, besides those few facilities that you saw on ground floor at the start. So, very typical like any other Residensi Wilayah or Prima project, right? You got a lot of community areas, yeah? This empty space, not filled yet, and this is actually for all the community areas that we're going to see. All of it are still bare. Whether they do anything about it, that remains to be seen. This is the bathroom. It's okay. It's decent. Yeah. Doesn't look too bad with the tiles all the way to the top. And then you have window panels at the top here for light and ventilation. And what's interesting is that you actually have that for all the blocks, not just for this block, but for all the blocks you actually have that bathroom, yeah, against male, female, and also the disabled. And also you have a lot of all these small kids playground structures throughout this development. Yeah, so it's somewhat scattered, it's not all concentrated together, like each and every block, every corner you have. And this is the main one, by the way. And if you notice, yeah, it's quite big, you know, it's a very spacious area, this whole facilities floor. Yeah. So it's really quite a big footprint that they have. So you get that very spacious, and even here all this, right? All these are double volumes. Yeah. Between blocks, it's all covered, your walkway. So in the event it rains and so on, yep, you can go between blocks, even to your central. This is basically, I would say, the main attraction. We'll end with this. This is the multi-purpose hall. Or do they call it community hall? Okay, I need to check. Fair bit of landscaping at the side, at the perimeter. And this is another hall, which looks like a handover room. Okay, I'm not going to go through. So you see another toilet here. They are very similar layout, so I'm not going to go through again. Yeah, you know, here you got some out of nowhere, right? These two cute kids playground structures. This is the surau. So the surau is quite big, quite sizable, and they've done really a nice surau with even an accessibility ramp up here. And it is nice. Okay, I'll enter from the other side. This is the tempat wuduk for the ladies, and the men's one is there where it's open. Yeah. This is the surau. It's carpeted. Look at that. Yeah. Even comes with a fan ready. Okay, let's not spend too much time. So inside the brochure, you would notice this as a basketball court, but they've changed it to a futsal court, which I would support. Much more practical, and basketball is not as famous as football or futsal in Malaysia. You know, yeah, I mean there are people who play basketball, but you know, if I were to have a court, I would go for futsal court. And the futsal court is also quite good. You have this artificial grass, which looks quite good, the quality. Yeah, look at the thickness. It's quite good. And it's quite sizable. It's not a small futsal court. And the space, of course, you have your fence all around, but even that, there's a lot of space here. Yeah. So if the ball goes out, you know, goes out the perimeter, you know, I think it's still okay. Oh, the 3 blocks. So for the facade, right, you have noticed that nails are all the same, but they've went with slightly different paint variation to give it some pattern. And there, this should be your break room, okay? Where they pump the water halfway and then they continue pumping up towards the top. So you also have tangis at the top, and also at this mid-level here. Yeah. For all 3 blocks, I think this also you would have, but it's on the other side. So you see it here, here, and this one also you should have. Like what I was mentioning, a lot of all these are billiard community. What is it used for? What will it be used for? I really don't know. All this obviously looks very temporary, interim type of cabling. Another community, billiard community. So there are a lot of all these billiard communities. Another billiard community. And this one, they even put this icon. But again, this should be interior only. And yeah, like what I was mentioning earlier on, you got all these playground structures scattered all around this development. So all in all, if you ask me, for the price you're paying, how would I compare it against a Residensi Wilayah project, for instance, you know, Rumah Whip? I would say this is obviously a step higher, better. Yeah, you got so much. Okay, by the way, this is a gym. But yeah, it's empty. And again, you got more kids' playground structures. I just want to comment that actually the side here I'm quite happy with it because it's quite high up. Well, although this blocks your view, right, this is actually very good for safety because this perimeter all around is actually higher than me. This wall here. So it's actually a safety precaution because towards your other area where you have your playground, if it's low, then obviously it's a danger, right? So this is the gym, which is empty. But it's a very sizable. Okay, just let me take a quick glance. Oops, it's locked. Okay, I'm just going to leave it outside. And last but not least, this one in the middle here. And you actually can access from all 3 sides, from all 3 blocks. You can go directly there, here, and the other one also you have. This is your community hall. By the way, did I mention that this was labelled as a clinic? Clinic 1 Malaysia. So whether it's a clinic, I would say there's quite a high chance it's actually a clinic because at the end of the day, right, This is a government project. Yeah, it's very important to remember that the developer itself is the government. Unlike Rumah WIP projects, right, which is again Residensi Wilayah projects, those are private developers. The developer itself is the government. Yeah, if you check the developer. So I think the chances of them making good of this is rather high, unlike Residensi Wilayah projects. Day one community, you have a very, very nice badminton hall. Yeah. Currently used as badminton. But again, this you can easily remove all this. All these are just loose items. You can fold up this. This is by Fleet, so it's rather branded. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. For a development that only has 920 units, the number of facilities and the space that they're giving you is big. So the only, I would say, if you want to complain, right, the facility that is missing is a swimming pool. Yeah, that's the only facility that is somewhat missing. If they had that, then it would be perfect. I don't think so you can complain at all. But yes, nevertheless, even without the swimming pool, I think this is still a very attractive proposition, very attractive project. Again, the main selling point for this project is the location. We are very, very close towards the city centre. I don't think so there's any other modern day Prima project that is this close to the city centre or to a central CBD. KL Sentral is a central CBD. It's the transportation hub of your train stations. All your train stations, the main transportation hub for now is still KL Sentral, right? You connect. Okay, this is a bit dangerous. Why do they have this here? This is a tripping hazard at the playground where kids run. Anyway, yeah, KL Sentral. Yeah, so we're very, very close to KL Sentral. If you walk, and you can safely walk, I think, because this is again a main road. Yeah, it's the main road leading towards Brickfields. You got a police station really nearby. So yes, very, very interesting project, close to a transportation hub, which is KL Sentral, and the train station itself, Bangsar LRT station. Facilities-wise, decent, I would say. But what I really like is the space. The space, if you forget about the location, right? The space itself in this development is very, very good. The way that they have spread the units, the unit layout itself, and then the floor layout, you know, the letter 8 with big air wells, where it's bright, it's airy, it's very inviting. And even for this floor, yeah, facilities, yeah, it might not be the top-notch facilities, you know, you might be missing the swimming pool, but it's very, very spacious. 920 units. I feel that you can really get that calm, peaceful living vibe, right? It's not too dense. It's certainly not dense at all for this development. Okay? So yes, if you like this video, please feel free to share it with your friends and family. And of course, I just wanted to give again a big shout out to the owner. You know who you are, so thank you very much again for the opportunity. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Help me promote the channel. Do smash the like button. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!